KPRC Channel 2. This is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
And good morning and welcome to Houston Newsmakers. With what's been going on in our community the past few months, I thought it was a good time to visit with an old friend who knows a thing or two about leading during a crisis. There were no shortages of them when he was Harris County Judge. Judge Emmett, former county judge, is now a fellow at the Baker Institute for Public Policy and a senior fellow at the Kinder Institute for Urban Research, both at Rice University. Good morning, Judge. Good to see you again. And good to see you staying busy in your time away from the county judge seat.
I am. You know, life goes on and you go back to other things. And as I've seriously and half jokingly said, you know, I really was somebody before I was county judge.
Yeah, it's true you were. Well, you know, while you were judge, you certainly had your share of crises to deal with. Nothing like what's going on now in this
Absolutely.
area. So what are some of your observations about what's happening in Harris County and the reactions to it?
Well, the pandemic is unlike anything anybody's ever had to deal with. And you know, finger pointing never does any good. So everybody questioning each other's decisions, that doesn't accomplish a whole lot. What is fascinating to me, though, is the debate between the state and the county and the city. Counties are arms of state government. They exist because of the state government. So in terms of who's in charge, there's really no question there. What's been interesting about the pandemic, though, the state and the county and the city all have really well-honed offices of emergency management. Somehow COVID-19 didn't get into that same cooperative stream that those offices of emergency management have shown dealing with hurricanes or even Harvey. And that's unfortunate. And I think part of that's because it was a public health issue and nobody knew exactly how to approach it.
Well, normally, and certainly politics has certainly played a tremendous part of all of this, and we've been so politicized. We've talked about this for a long time, but it seems to me that even you would say it's discouraging to see that politics seems to have seeped into the decision-making process when it's a health crisis that needs to be solved.
Absolutely. The public does not like to see their officials arguing with each other about what to do. And so that's why I keep going back to the way the offices of emergency management are set up. There's a real clear chain of command. Everybody knows who's supposed to do what. And those offices at the state and local level work together year-round to make sure their communication's good among themselves and also the way they communicate to the public. I think one of the disappointing features here is you've had different officials saying different things to the public. And so the public's just pulling their hair out. And I'll give you an early example. When there were just a very few cases in our area, we didn't do contact tracing. Why not? That's the time to do it. And one of those people happened to be an employee of Rice University, which is why I was aware of that. Then we decided to do contact tracing after there are thousands and thousands of cases out there. And it's too late to really get your arms around it. And so I think the public wants to know, how are decisions being made? Right. You know, as a member of the public now, I looked at it and said, I don't see any transparency here. Who's advising? Who's actually giving the advice that prompts some of the decisions that are being made?
When you say some of the decisions that were made, are you specifically talking about state or county or city or all of them?
All of the above. You look at early on, for example, Dr. Shaw, the public health director for Harris County, didn't really pursue contact tracing. Well, that should have been a decision talked about in the public more as to why or why not you do that. And also early on, I think everybody was guilty of this, they wanted to downplay. So a state representative and public health and everybody made a big show of going out to eat. Oh, there's nothing to worry about. Let's all go patronize these restaurants. Well, Mayor de Blasio in New York did the same thing when he said New York City's open for business. That didn't work out so well. Yeah. And in hindsight, you can look back and say that was a bad decision. But I just think the public wants to know who's making these decisions and how.
Well, I know that you know that the city and county typically are together. You've worked with Mayor Turner, and before him, Mayor Parker. You worked together on some of these things. But what's happened recently has been really perplexing. I want to let you hear what County Judge Lena Hidalgo had to say about the ruling that the state made overruling the county about schools. Listen to what she said.
The entire community is going to be at risk because of this. And what's sad to me is this politicization is the reason we got here in the first place. Because of politics, the state opened too early. And because of that, we haven't brought down our numbers to a place where it would be responsible to open up schools, at least to some degree.
So you can hear the frustration in her voice about being overruled by the state. It's not the first time that's happened. You've had disagreements with the state as well about who's in charge.
But again, the county is an arm of state government, and school districts don't report to the county at all. So that, and I'm trying to be gentle here,
no,
but she can talk about politicization of the issue, but she's done it too. And that's important to note. And I'll be the first to say nobody knew what the right decisions to make were. But if you go back in the spring, she had a press conference and begged the schools to stay open. Mm-hmm. And now in the fall, she's saying, no, the schools have got to stay closed. What changed?
So the virus has changed, how a lot of things have changed. Let me ask you this. You're still active in Harris County Republican Party these days?
Not very.
Not very. Well, you look at from afar then of what's going on with the Harris County chair. What do you think is happening with that? Because he at one point said he was going to resign because of some racist posts that he made, and then he says he's not. And what's going on? You certainly were very involved at one point. You have a vested interest in seeing what's going on.
No, I do, and I think the Republican Party is going to have to figure out who they are going forward. I think the new chair's decision to resign was the right one. It was supported by people from all parts of the party. And then to backtrack on it, I just think makes him and the party look foolish, and particularly going into a November election that's going to be very, very tough anyway. So I cannot explain why he would announce he's not going to take the office and then change his mind. I do know that about 150 precinct chairs have written a letter to him saying, please don't take the office.
Right.
Because it's a distraction. Yeah.
Hey, I'm running out of time here, but can you stick around for a little bit longer? I want to talk to you a little bit more about your views on what's happening in our community. Can you do that?
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Judge Emmett, we're going to have Judge Emmett doing Houston Newsmakers Extra in just a few minutes. You can go online and get that. That'll be at clicktohouston.com.